Look at that. There he is.
There he is. Wonderful. Ah!
Hello.
Hello. Now we
Hi.
see you.
This, our mic is on. This is good.
The mic is on. I love it. Now I just need to see you.
You need to see us. We can see you.
There you go.
There I am.
Hello.
Hi. This
I'm
is
not.
my husband, Bob. He's just being technical.
I'm
guy.
just the techie guy today. That's all. I'm out of here.
No, you can stay.
Yeah, well, not quite right here.
Wow, family thing.
Well, it all started when I first picked up a musical instrument. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I don't know. Once in a while, a cat may walk by. I don't know. That cat may walk.
I love it. You know, we have the part of the show where we have animal time. So we had Bert Ward on, and he had, you know, he has 100 dogs in his house.
So somebody's bound to walk through. You know, our cats now they're in the room. They're kind of here, like they've joined in, like
right.
They like to be in the conversation. So they're just sitting on the furniture in front of me. Oh.
I love this.
Mm-hmm.
Along with me.
With three Persian cats.
I love this. You know, I have to learn how to just go with it and not even do an introduction.
Okay.
Should I try that this time?
I don't know. Whatever you want to do, I'm in your hands.
I love it. It's so much fun. Okay. There are TV stars and there are movie stars that you grow up with that will always be with you. And we have this beautiful woman here today that is with so many of us with her memorable performances and her unforgettable presence. The groundbreaking role in WKRP in Cincinnati, A Night at the Roxbury, Two Ninja, High Noon at Mega Mountain, Melrose Place, and Love You More, and the list goes on. Oh, All Dogs Go to Heaven. Loni Anderson.
My real name.
Thank you for being here.
Oh, it's so wonderful to be here.
Oh,
We've enjoyed just a conversation. Everybody should know before this. We could have gone on and on and on.
I know. We might even start with that conversation. I don't know. And thanks so much to my dear friend Terry Ray.
Oh.
I mean.
Yeah, Jim. I'm so thankful for him because, first of all, he's such a good friend of Charles Nelson Riley's, and that's kind of what brought us together, that we were both loved Charles, and that he had been on a show I did called The Mullets. And yes, and then he sent me the script, and it's so much for actors when you get to a place where you think, I don't have anything left to prove. You know, I think that I've just been around for a long time. I mean, I came to Los Angeles in 1975, and so you think you do stuff and you do stuff. There's always something you want to do that's different. Yeah. But you more than anything want to go to work with people that are fun and a place you want to go to every day. And the ultimate job is the joy for me. Comedy, of course, always my favorite.
Yeah.
But so he sent me the script and I said, well, wherever it is, I want to be there. You know, I want to be Mumsy.
Oh my God. And it's such perfect casting. I mean, he looks like he could be your son.
I know, it's so adorable. And to play this perpetually tipsy, promiscuous woman, you know, who's the mother of 2 gay children, and she adores them, but she's just a nosy in their life drunk person.
I love it. I love it, that scene where you're in the car drinking. It's like...
Drinking in the car because I have all my stuff in the car to, right. If I stop for too long, I make a martini.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh. Well, I can't wait to see the second season. Is it up yet, the second season?
I think it's so odd because, you know, when you do, Terry started out doing like they were 5-minute segments.
Yeah.
And then, so there were like, it was really 35 minutes if you put it all together. And then he did a second 35, 40-minute thing. And so I'm not really sure how you divide it up anymore, depending on, but it could go on and on as far as I'm concerned.
My
so
sister is so gay. It's great. It's great. I'm going to jump to the past, actually not to the past, at this moment. What is your biggest joy in life?
Well, you know, during this pandemic that we've just had to be in our bubble, my husband and I met in 1963. And then there was a big space, because I was his #1 fan. He was in a group called, and still is, called the Brothers Four. And they had done Greenfields, and they did an entire album for a big movie with Ava Gardner and Charlton Heston called 55 Days at Peking. And they had done the music.
Right.
And the movie premiered in Minneapolis, and I'm a Minneapolis-St. Paulite, Minnesota. And I went to get my album signed.
Yeah.
You know, and so we have pictures of us meeting, and I kept thinking, oh, he's so cute. And, but I was way too young for him. And I lied to him. He was like 24 years old. And I told him I was a senior in college and I was a senior in high school. Jailbait. And, but anyway, I just adored him. You know, he was the big crush. And so I saw him on a PBS special about 15 years ago. And I was doing a speaking tour about not smoking because both of my parents had COPD. And so I did a big campaign. And we were in Seattle where the group originated. And I thought, maybe he still lives here. You know, maybe there's a number, maybe there's something. I called the office. He happened to answer the phone. We went to dinner. And now, yesterday was our 13th wedding anniversary. There you go. So I got him after all. Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, so that's like, those are, you know, those beginnings when we talk about beginnings, but I had black hair. Right. It's kind of like we discussed earlier. Yeah. Sometimes you become iconic in something you didn't plan.
Yeah.
And you don't want to just dismiss it and say, but I've done this and I've done that. And oh my gosh, I was Zeidel in Fiddler on the Roof.
Yes.
No? But Loni Anderson Blonde is who I am to most people. Yeah. And you need to embrace it. You need to embrace what made you like a household name, you know, whatever at the time. Right. And I think there are a lot of actors who say, oh, don't ever talk about that. I don't want to talk about the beginning because I've done so many more things. And it's like, come on, get over it. This is what got you noticed.
Right. You know, a couple things that you've said here that, first of all, when you were talking about your husband, I started tearing up because it was such a beautiful love story. And I'm like, and I started thinking, when am I going to find mine? But, no. But I was even thinking, I know you wrote your autobiography.
Yes, but it ended with my divorce from Bert.
Okay.
It was in 1995. So I've had a whole
You have a whole new love story to write.
I do. And or else we're a Hallmark movie. I'm not quite sure.
Or a reality TV show.
No.
No. Oh, your hair.
My hair.
Do you ever miss your brunette hair?
Well, during the pandemic, I got to see it again because nobody could go to the hair salon. Right. And I thought at my age, I would have gray hair. I do not have gray hair. I still have that dark, almost black hair. And so everybody said, are you tempted? Are you tempted to go back, you know, now that it's grown out 4 inches? And so I have an office. And in my office, I have magazine covers from my whole career. And oh my gosh, I spent a lot of time in hair and makeup and wardrobe and stuff. Oh, the hours of my life. That's another story. So I go in there and I look at everything and I go, no, this is who I am. I'm this blonde person. I'm going to go, as soon as the hairdresser opens up, I'm going to go back and have my roots dyed blonde.
Right. And which, there you go. We're back now, or we're almost completely
back. Yep.
Okay, wait, I have to say,
So when we were talking about what happened lately was that my husband, who's been on the road now for 60 years, there's never a year that's gone by that they didn't do concerts all over the world. So to have him home for a whole year, the best news is I really like him.
Oh, that is the best news, because I know a few people that are like saying, we're leaving each other.
We've heard that from people too. It's kind of like we drew a line down the middle of the house and don't come near me. And I thought, isn't this great? Because when I first met him, and he's so funny. I said to my mother, you know, being with somebody like that is like better than TV because he just makes me laugh all the time. And I could probably be in a cabin in the woods and not have any electronics, and I would be totally entertained. And that was in 1963. And now he's still that same person. He's that entertaining. So I've had a lovely year with him.
Well,
a gift.
And I love that too, how, you know, you could know somebody way back, and then years later they come back into your life.
I know. And we went to dinner, and it was so funny because I wanted to find out, does he have like 10 children, and, you know, whatever has happened. And in the middle of dinner, he said something adorable and laughed in the way I remembered and everything. I thought, oh my gosh, he's still it. He's still the one. Never know.
You do need to write that book or a movie of the
I have something that I've never said anywhere to anyone at any time except in my house, that my husband said, you know, I think a good title for your book is What If I Had Said Yes to Snoop Dogg? Do you love it? Okay. All right, I'm going with it.
I think you should go with it.
Because right away you're going like, what? Yeah. And people will want to know that story. So that could be the title.
I like that. When I was thinking of writing an autobiography, not that anybody would buy it, but I was thinking my name is Sybil. You know, so because I have different personalities.
But I actually do have a Snoop Dogg asking me to run away with him about 20 years ago. Really? When he was, because he's a younger, Snoop Dogg. And we were at an opera. Yeah. And he came over to me and said, I must have you. You must run away with me. And I thought, what if I had said yes? What would my life be like today? Because he's like 20, 25 years my junior, but I'm sure people would have forgotten about the rest of my life and it would just all be about him. Anyway.
No, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. So, but I love to see who he is now.
Yeah.
We were just watching him on The Voice, and he's just a charming, intelligent, knowledgeable icon.
This just came to me. I'm here with you, visiting with you, and you have such a loving presence. Not everybody has that, especially in the land of Lala. but you have this, I feel like I've known you for a while, and this is the first time we met. Well, no, we met once on the set of Love You More. But you just have this love about you. Where did you get that?
I don't know. I mean, don't you think that people are inherently who they are? I have to tell you that I had a shocking life experience that changed me from being kind of an opinionated and judgmental young woman who wanted everything perfect. And if you maybe didn't measure up to my standard of what it should be, I just think there was another person. And then I was a divorced teenage mom. And I knew a guy 2 weeks, ran off and eloped, pregnant. This is the wrong guy. Yeah. Now you're divorced. And now you're going to start college with a child and a divorced. And I mean, I'm telling you that I went from the golden child to a pariah. I mean, the sorority girls just rushed away from me. I went to Rush and they just went the other way. I mean, nobody wanted to be with at my own church said I was no longer acceptable to teach Sunday school because I was divorced. And my whole life growing up had been very, very much revolving around the church. I think it was so shocking to not be the golden child anymore, and learning how I'd been judgmental and now I was being judged. What that is, that changed me forever. And that changed me into this person.
Well, that could have changed you into a very negative person, but it didn't.
It could have, but it didn't. It didn't. It made me accept there's always another side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In connection to acting and showbiz and singing, who was the person when you were growing up that you went, I want to be like that? Or maybe you didn't say that, maybe just like.
Well, watching TV actually came in when I was a little girl. So there was, you could watch the Late Late movie if you pretended to be asleep and then hid behind your parents' chair and they never knew you were there, you could watch late night TV. Yeah. And so I started acting things out in my room, and maybe 3, 4, 5 years old, because when I was 5, I charged the neighbors to come and watch me sing and dance in the garage. It was a nickel. Yeah. And I produced them, I directed them, I performed, I did everything. And I did that all the way through school. And I was in my first stage musical, singing and dancing at 10. And I played a Native American. Now, I had that black hair. Yeah. Talking about, Deborah Paget playing the Native American princess, and how many people along the way have played people of other nationalities. Right. That is just not acceptable today. I wouldn't be playing Bo Bright, the Indian princess, today in my school. That would not be. And so it's interesting to have come up from that era. Like I was probably the only Zeidel who ever had a pug nose, and Fiddler on the Roof, but I had the black hair and I had the pipes. Yeah. And I could hit the back of the house. So that was a great show for me. If there's a musical now that you want to do, what would it be? Oh gosh, I don't even know now, because I'm thinking about my age group and what would I like to do? Maybe a little night music. Yes. Yeah. Lovely. Okay. But that's the way I started in musical theater. I always was funny, but shy about it. And so I could be on stage and be funny, and it would be okay. And, because I always had a quip in my head that I thought, I might spend the rest of the night in the room. My parents would say, you can't come out for the whole weekend if you say that. So I got to say it on stage. And it seems like, from all that I have seen throughout the years, you're not shtick. You've come from that real place which has the humor in it. Well, Hugh Wilson, who created WKRP, his whole philosophy of comedy just gelled with mine. And is that the humor comes out of the story. Oh, we froze. The humor comes out of the situation. Oh. Therefore, situation comedy, which it should be. And he said he knew that WKRP was a success. Yeah. When he opened, we had a live audience. The show opened, I'm sitting at my desk. Frank Bonner, who plays Herb Tarlick, comes in. The audience bursts into laughter. We haven't said a word. And he said, we're a hit. We're a hit. They just can't wait for what you're going to say, because they know who you are. Right. And what's so wonderful about that, and so groundbreaking, is that here is this beautiful, voluptuous, quote, blonde, and she didn't take no crap. And thank you, Hugh Wilson, because we created her kind of together. Yeah. He said, how I had turned down the role because I said I thought it was just window dressing. And I read for Grant Tinker, who was the head of MTM at the time, and Hugh. And they said, well, how would you want to do it? And of course, they caught me off guard because I hadn't prepared anything. So I said, well, I think she should be smart. You know, I'm just recently lightening my hair, and with each shade, people think more and more of my brain is dissolving, you know, so I don't like the way I'm being treated. Yeah. So now I'm on a little soapbox about glamorous women should be smart.
Right.
And so they said, okay. And I got the part, and we created Jennifer, and Hugh said, let's make her look like Lana Turner and be the smartest person in the room. So in 1978, by the way, that was not being done.
Right.
Well, I think that's why Jennifer was so groundbreaking, is because on television, glamorous, I mean, Mary Tyler Moore was pretty. I mean, there were a lot of pretty, Lucy was pretty, but nobody was like a sex symbol glamorous.
Yeah.
And funny and smart. And so lucky me.
Yeah.
That I got to play that.
Oh, you're lucky us that we got to, you know, take you in. And you said sex symbol, and it took me, what is your definition of sex symbol, or what is your definition of sexy?
Well, I was so surprised. I always had this brunette hair, and I thought of myself as like sultry and exotic, you know, and those were the words that people used, not sex symbol, oh, cute or adorable, or, you know, that all came with the blonde hair. Mm. And to me, sexy was Rita Hayworth. You know, she was a sex symbol. Marilyn Monroe obviously was a sex symbol. Jane Mansfield, was who I played, was a whole different kind of sex symbol. And so for me to be like out there in my swimsuit, posing with the blonde hair and doing my poster, my mom I came from a very religious household. Right. She said to me, at 30, you cut your hair off, you never wear a bikini again. You know, you become a grown-up. That's it. Yeah. You know, get serious. Put your hat on and go to church. And so when I turned 30, I did my bikini poster.
Hey, Mom.
I just rebelled just a little bit. And then I said, you know, when I'm a grandma, someday I'm going to look back and say, I look like that. Wow, was I a dish? And so that's what I say to my granddaughters. No retouching. We didn't have retouching.
Oh my gosh, right?
Actual skin.
And now when you're a great-great-great-grandmother, you can look back and say, look at how I look now.
I know, because we keep living longer and longer.
Now, how, you know, here you are in the poster and the success and all that, if I may, how did your mom deal with that?
At first, Mom thought it was so much fun, because she actually was one of those ladies who got the tabloids and believed everything that was in them and stuff like that. And now having me in them all the time, and she kept saying, well, this isn't true. That isn't true. Oh, I'm so disappointed. And then she would say to everybody that she was my mom. Then she got nervous that people only liked her because she was my mom. Oh. New people that she met. So then she disowned me completely and told no one she was my mom. And she said, I can't do that. I have to be sure of them first. I have to know that they like me for me. I don't want to just be connected to you. I'm more than Lonnie's mom. Oh. And then my sister said the same thing. My daughter said the same thing. So yeah, we don't tell people. Even my son, who is he's an EMT. Yeah. So he's been very busy during this past pandemic year. But he has two famous parents, because he's Bert's and my son. And like he said, you know, he has Reynolds on his shirt. And he said, once in a while, somebody will start talking about Bert and Lonnie. And I said, how do you keep a straight face? He said, luckily, we've been masked for the whole last year.
Oh my gosh.
So sometimes your family doesn't think it's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Intrusion into their lives. Like, I think politicians and actors were the only professions that your family gets dragged in, you know, and can't just be themselves and be anonymous.
Yet they still can love you. you could still love each other, but you
Yes.
just have those
Yeah,
limitations.
but they don't like that. And I remember Deidre saying to me, we were watching a movie or something and eating popcorn, and she said, how come this is never in the tabloids? I said, because it's too normal. We have to think of Loni Anderson as two people. The tabloid one that's living some life that's so out there, we don't know anything about it. And then just us. Yeah. And we're living a totally normal life, boring, because it's just like everybody else's.
How do you, that connected me to, how do you take care of yourself?
Well, thank goodness I had the mother that I did have. I mean, she was very glamorous, my mother. She had been a runway model. And so she was very much into moisturizing and staying fit. Of course, she smoked like a chimney, 4 packs a day. And and drank lots of coffee and wine. She was a party girl. Yeah. Which, here's my thing, the party girl, churchgoer. Yeah. I have a real, this has been a dividing, is what I think of organized religion a lot of the time. I love the theater of it. I love going. Mm-hmm. I love the singing. I love the camaraderie, but sometimes it can be a little hypocritical. Yeah. And so whatever religion I keep in my heart. But that's a whole other show too,
that's
right?
A whole other show.
So mom is the one who really started me on the keep yourself up, moisturize. That's just the way she.
And eating healthy and
I eat healthy. I don't drink. I work out. I do all the things that everybody goes, oh my God, is that what I have to do?
But you enjoy it.
But I love it. I lift weights. I do isometric exercises. I do lots of stretching. Try and walk as much as I keep moving is my whole message, I think. Yeah. Just keep moving. And moisturizers are fantastic. And take advantage of new things that come along. I am not against whatever anybody wants to do, as long as they stay looking like themselves. When you start looking like somebody else, then I kind of don't like what's happening out there. Mm. Don't go so far away that we go, oh, I haven't seen you in a long time, or else you don't recognize somebody. Right. And I mean, for me, changing my hair was a big deal. My grandmother wouldn't even have, my dad's mom wouldn't have a picture of me next to her bed when she was ill, because I had blonde hair. And she was the brunette part of the family. They were the black-haired side of the family. And I'd say, Grandma, do you want a new picture of me? And she'd say, are you still blonde? And I'd say, yes. No, I don't.
How do you remain true to yourself? And this is for people out there as well. How do you remain true to yourself with all this stuff going on, with the family, with the Hollywood?
Right. I've always been very centered and confident in who I am, warts and all. You cannot live your life perfectly. Yeah. And whatever, no regrets. Whatever went, I said this in my book, whatever went into the pot that made you what you are today, you like yourself, that's all acceptable. That all went in there to make you you. And I think the goal is to like yourself.
I love this conversation. You're such a healer. I mean, I could keep on talking about all the different amazing movies and shows that you have done. I mean, I have the list right here and in here. And we also have some amazing talent from one of the shows that you did, which I was lucky to be on the set for, coaching and just being there. Love You More.
Love You More. I loved that series. I tell you that people love that show. Yeah. I mean, we were the victims of Hollywood politics. Show business isn't just show. It's business.
Yeah.
And as much as we hate it as artists, it's still business.
Yeah.
And all of that happens around us and we have no control over it. We did a beautiful show with incredible performances. My own daughter said, I am so addicted to this show. I just watch it over and over and over and over again.
Right.
So, you know, and loving every single character. There wasn't a bad review anywhere for anybody.
Yeah.
You know, we were all singled out. People loved it.
Yeah.
And it was a victim of circumstance.
You know, and especially with all the shows that are coming out now, I really think, I mean, they could still bring it back.
I agree with you.
Everybody bring it back.
Bring it back. Bring back Love You More.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm going to bring right now on some of the other cast members of Love You More. I'll just admit them all at once. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh my God, you guys.